Hey everyone, this is Chris from Know Your Why Recovery. I'm so excited to have you here for our first episode of Know Your Whys, Know Your Term. Today we're going to be looking at addiction, and we're going to be looking at a very brief definition of addiction. The reason why I emphasize very brief is because we could spend hours talking about addiction, what it means to different people, what it means to academics, what it means to the medical community, and so on. But we're going to look at two definitions. We're going to break them down a little bit, and we're going to try to shorten it into something that's a little more usable. All right. So Merriam-Webster, the dictionary, defines addiction as a compulsive, chronic, physiological or psychological need for a habit-forming substance, behavior, or activity having harmful physical, psychological, or social effects and typically causing well-defined symptoms such as anxiety, irritability, tremors, or nausea upon withdrawal or abstinence. That is the hell of a mouthful, right? So we're going to look at another definition, also a mouthful, right? But this one comes from the American Society of Addiction Medicine. They say addiction is a treatable, chronic medical disease involving complex interactions among brain circuits, genetics, the environment, and an individual's life experiences. People with addiction use substances or engage in behaviors that become compulsive and often continue despite harmful consequences. This definition introduces kind of the disease concept, and we're going to actually have a know your term on that in the future. It's not important to break it down right now, but I just wanted to point that out. The key in both these definitions, though, is the focus on harmful consequences. So they look at not just the behavior, not just the substance, they look at the consequences that it's causing for the person, specifically harmful consequences. All right. The DSM 5, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, that's the book that clinicians use to diagnose mental disorders. Counselors, psychiatrists, even medical doctors. All right. They don't necessarily diagnose addictions, but they have criteria for things such as substance use disorders, and those happen on a severity scale, and also gambling disorders, right? So, looking at those two definitions, I think we can bring it into something shorter that's more memorable and understandable, right? So, I think we can look at addiction as a complex condition that's manifested by compulsive substance use or other behavior despite harmful consequences. And again, I emphasize despite the harmful consequence. So before we wrap up, I'll pose the question, can you be addicted to something good? I hear people all the time say, I'm addicted to the gym, I'm addicted to chocolate, I'm addicted to my dog, right? This is the thing. You might be drawn to something. You might be compulsive about it. You might have strong urges to do it. But if it's not causing you harmful consequence, I'm not sure we should be calling it an addiction. We should be describing it as something different. And it may be better described as a habit. Right? It may be a very good habit for you. It may be a coping skill. It may be relaxing, stress release. But until it's causing you some type of negative consequence, some type of impairment in function, some type of issue in your life for you or your loved ones, I'm not so sure that we should be calling it an addiction. That's it for today's episode. Be sure to come back for more. We have more of these coming out. In the meantime, you can visit us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website, knowyourwhyrecovery.com. Again, thank you for visiting us, and thanks for the support over these past couple of years. Take it easy.